Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. As we're here from Rev Rates VIP Entertainment inside of Howell Lanes in Howell, New Jersey, as we have our two finalists set. For our U15 girls, championship match. Please help share the news with the world. Another PB3 Scholarship Tournament champion going to be crowned. 5 divisions will be crowned overall today. We already have Nolan Rendisi. Our U12 mixed champion took down Ellie Kate Murray in our U12 mixed finals. And now some words from our tournament host, Parker Bohn III.
All right, everyone, as the ladies are continuing to practice here. This is our final match in the ladies U15 division between Antony, our tournament leader, or undefeated individual so far, and Addison Quattrini, coming through the elimination bracket. She has made her way here for the title match. It will be a 2-game total wood match with Anna getting choice of starting lane. For Addison to win, she has to win her first match. That will equal the bowlers, and then there will be one more match after that. So each match would consist of 2 games total wood. And at the end of the rainbow stands the championship check and trophy. Compliments of KR Industries for the trophy, and the check is $800 in scholarship money added to one of these 2 young ladies' Smart account. So I fully understand the ladies have not bowled in this section before, but the lanes are the same. The pattern is exactly what you've been bowling on all week. The only difference are the machines that we have in the back. We have Brunswick machines instead of AMF on the other side. Anna, do you have any idea of where you want to start? I'm sorry?
I'll start the match.
You're going to start it there?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you finish game 1 here, but then you finish game 2 over there. Okay. Anna has elected to start the match on the left lane. So we will put the machines into scoring mode. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a nice send-off for our final match in the ladies U15 division. Good luck, bowlers. You may begin whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
And there we go with the announcements. From Parker Bohn III, we are getting ready to get underway here. Now, Anna Antony, she's undefeated. And if Vegas was setting a line on this match, you would think Antony would be a prohibitive favorite. She's undefeated. Her 2-2-game total so far today, 456 for 2 when she took out Katie Apatisano. And then 508 when she took out Isabella Dixon. There's definitely.
I'm kind of thinking she understands what's going on.
Yeah, we are underway.
Little tight high flush there, the first shot, but pretty convincing start out of the gate.
There you see the beautiful Brunswick scoring popping up on your screen. That is crystal clear for everyone to see that scoreboard at home.
Makes it easier on my eyes.
Yours and mine both. Tell you what, everything top-notch, first-rate here inside of Rev Rates VIP. GSX pin setters. Strikes galore for both ladies to start the match.
Yeah, I'm sure if you ask both of them right now, they'd love nothing more but to keep that up. But odds are something's going to stand at some point. But you never know when the start of the game at one strike will elusively get you all the way to the finish line with a couple more for perfecto.
So Quattrini, a little longer path to get to this championship match. Isabella Dixon took her out in the first round, 332 to 310. I think Quattrini took down Addison, 394 to 361, and then defeated Dixon to get a little revenge to advance to this championship match. Now she does have to win twice as the 8-pin stands in defiance.
Yeah, Ball a little lazy going through the pins there. It did put the 5 over there in front of the 8, but at the same time, she was able to get 9 on what relatively looked like a decent shot. So hopefully she can make the spare and fill the frame and move on.
Now, one thing that's interesting, once again, fresh application, as you mentioned, of this 43-foot PB3 tournament pattern. But Anna Antony going with urethane, while Addison Quattrini going with reactive resins. So they're kind of playing off each other's ball choice, one would think. Antony's going to cause some carry down, and then Quattrini could possibly use that to her advantage as the game progresses.
It'll be interesting to see how that works, because certainly Quattrini is not going to affect Anna's shape very, very much. The only thing that's going to affect Anna's shape is going to be her own ball with the urethane going down the lane. But with that urethane having some carry down there in front of the pins, that could help Quattrini as we get through or towards the second half of this first game. We'll have to see.
And you can see why Antony shot a 250 average over her round 2 match, and highest average on the day by far.
Yeah, well, she's on the Junior Team USA developmental team, so she earned her way on that right. They didn't just look and say, hey, you know, why don't we pick this young lady and maybe she's got a chance to go somewhere. She certainly earned that right through her qualifications out at Junior Gold, and, well, she's continued to thrust that forward with anything that they've helped her along with, as well as her own physical game and the time and efforts that she puts in.
Once again, you've got a couple of young players here that can just hold that finishing position at the line for days. They know how important getting the lower body on the shot is to help produce that ball speed. And a little more advantageous with the two-hander for the rev rate for Antony, but that one crawls up light, and we'll have to see if she's going to create problems with herself, and what does she go to if the urethane starts to get a little two-down lane.
Yeah, well, that one looked like she might have fired it a little bit too hard, maybe missed it a touch at the bottom. You know, still not really a lot of trouble. And I'm not going to say the 245 is exactly the pencil me in makeable spare, but the fact that they're all together and she's looking to knock all 3 of those over right now and say, okay, I got to learn by that shot.
I just like the irony of she practices the one-handed swing before the spare, being a two-handed player. Gets the cover.
Not too bad.
So early lead for Antony after 2.5 frames.
Well, we'll see what Addison has to say about that. She threw a pretty convincing strike last time on this right lane. The great thing is she's hit the pocket both times, so hopefully that will continue and she'll move in the right direction from there.
Little extra squeak.
Yeah.
On the sole of the shoe there.
Adrenaline might be in her favor right now. She might be just, going a little bit quick up to the line, and obviously when her heel hit the bottom, well, brakes were on. But a little bit right at target, and with this 43-foot pattern that we put out there, well, the scores can be conducive if you're lined up properly, but you get it a little bit wide right or wide left at the wrong spot, you will miss the head pin.
Nothing wrong with half and half. Cost her a few pins of count on the spare, but
at least she didn't just give everything away.
Quattrini covers it up.
Addison getting up here on the left lane. Both girls so far with 3 marks. Yeah. So they're filling frames, and I think that's pretty important early on. You can easily hand a match over to your opponent in the beginning of a 2-game match if you start off with a couple of opens early.
Nice soft hand out of it. Is she going to get a roll on the 2? Not this time.
No. She's got to make sure she gets a little bit more online. Look like a reasonable pass off of her hand, but her ball definitely needs to be a little bit more online. She doesn't have quite the power that Anna gets, so she's going to have to rely a pinch more on accuracy rather than power or the ball being explosive going through the pins.
A little over-the-shoulder look, and no problem on the cover.
Good spare.
One thing I noticed this weekend, because during the qualifying rounds of this event, they cross the entire house. Mm-hmm. There's 26 lanes in use out there, and the bowlers crossed 20. I mean, they ended up on the pair they started next to go, which I thought was really great. Everybody crosses the house. But when the U15 and U18 girls were crossing where the U18 boys were playing, they didn't have to move a ton. Usually you get those high-rev, high-speed players with the young men, and these young ladies had to make some, real quick adjustments. That didn't seem to really fool a lot of them during the tournament, and comes up high. And that was a little footwork issue.
Yeah, see, for the most part, there weren't a whole lot of movement that went on. Okay, yeah, they would get to a certain pair. Maybe there was a couple of guys that broke the front part of the lane down, might have changed their angle going through the front part of the lane slightly. Yeah. I think where it got most of the ladies was come game 5 in the block. You had to hope that whatever pair you were going to wasn't going to be, inverted enough to where you were going to have a big problem there. So as it unfolded, you look at it, I'll say overall, the scores on the girls' side were a pinch lower this year.
Okay.
Whereas the scores on the boys' side were a pinch higher. Yeah. Minus the fact of the overall score. We had 1 or 2 guys really, really hit them strong last year. And, that there seemed like more of the field this year figured out a way to muster it up. I can go out there and average 220 for my 5 games. Yeah. So that certainly made a difference there. Open frame there for Anna, and all of a sudden we have a tie game here.
Yes, indeed. Beverage frame slides a little along, and lane 3 seems, I don't know, maybe it just developed a little bit tighter as they were practicing. There could have been a couple extra spare shots thrown towards the corner pins, because the polyester balls will move a little oil as well.
Yeah, they certainly will. Characteristics of Howell lanes in general. This end of the bowling center is a little bit tighter. Okay. It doesn't get quite as much play as the rest of the facility. A lot of places that we go to, keep in mind, you typically have more open bowling in front of the front desk, in front of the bar, in front of the snack bar. That's where the vast majority of the bowlers are. This being down at the low end of the facility before we created rev rates here, or Bohn's Elite Training.
Oh.
She tried to miss it. But before we created this down here, there wasn't a lot of heavy league bowling or tournament play.
So the only thing that changed when the wall went up to create Rev Rates VIP is the machinery in the back.
Correct. The aesthetics of the facility itself and the machines, that really created a difference. Because now some of the pin action we get here is a little bit more livelier than the rest of the facility.
And is Addison running into a little bit of the urethane carry down, or is it just the nerves are keeping the ball speed up a little bit too much at the moment? It's hard to tell.
It really is hard to tell, but the fact that she's thrown 4 shots here that have not got up to par, okay, the one in the third frame, she definitely missed right of target there. But her ball is not picking up on the back end the way she needs it to do. So either she's going to have to move her feet a little bit to create a little more angle, or she's going to have to slow it up. Great spare to allow that ball to pick up a little bit more. So close game, though, so far. Only 4-pin difference.
Yep. Quattrini keeping it clean. A double and an open on the board for Antony. And, you know, these young ladies, a lot of tournament experience. I'm sure they both have at least a couple of years of junior gold under their belt. But it's a little different story when you walk into Rev Rates today and there's 5 cameras that are on tripods around you. There's a couple of photographers with Curtis Von Kruger and Ben Glasscock that are taking all kinds of pictures of what's going on. And that's going to bring the nerves up a little bit for these young players.
That's a better shot right there. That will change the nerves a little bit. You know, most of these youth bowlers bowl events, and when it comes down to the title match, there's 2 of them bowling against each other on a pair of lanes, and maybe there's 10 or 20 or could be more people in the back watching. Mm-hmm. But outside of junior gold and outside of an occasional junior event, they're not going to have cameras all over the place. They're not going to have action shots being taken, still shots, still photos. And we try to set it up like a mini arena here right now where people can come and watch.
It's a beautiful setting to decide some championships. 6th frame, and that hip-in does some dancing, but avoids the 7, unfortunately, for Anna Antony.
Well, she might have made a small move that time or made a better pass. She wanted to make sure she didn't go through the nose. You know, the last one going through the nose there, the unfortunate 6-7, you're handing your opponent free pins at that point or handing your match away. So, you know, the good play is there. Hit him thin, let him spin, especially with Anna's power. I got to believe that she'll strike a lot if she can get to that sweet spot.
Covers it up nicely. And we stay with a 3-pin advantage to Antony through 6 frames. Now, once again, Anna Antony does have an advantage as she is undefeated in the bracket for the U15 girls. It is a double elimination format, but I'm sure the feeling would be for Antony, let's get it done in one match and take home the $800 championship scholarship check. $500 available to the runner-up. And once again, Parker, amazing support you get from the bowling community in this area and what you do, and $25,000 in scholarship money going out to the young players this year in total.
Well, it is pretty amazing, Phil. There's that shot. There's that sweet shot, ripping the rack. But it is pretty amazing. You know, we've had a lot of support from our sponsors. I can't thank all of them enough. You know, Start Brunswick Corporation, obviously Kegel, SYC Storm Youth Classic, Manchester Accounting, I Am Bowling, Craig's Plumbing. I mean, we do have the benefit of having some people on our side, and we can't thank them enough for standing up and being a part of what we're doing. Rita's ice. How about the ice that we had here?
I always look forward to that every trip out here. There we go. Ball change.
I'll tell you what, ball change, but wow, did those 2 shots go through the pins.
And a double on the board and an early lead now for Quattrini. 7 pins.
First lead of the match so far for her. So that being said, we might have a little bit of a seesaw going on here.
It's nice that the dad joke of the day just popped up on the Lane 3 scoreboard. Why didn't the Mellons get married? Because they can't elope. Nothing wrong with a good dad joke during the championship match here inside of Rev Rates. How about a turkey?
No, a little too much there.
Ooh, and a huge break to take the 7 out.
Yeah, she kept the angle shut down, got a little bit over the top on that one, a little too direct, and the lane condition is not going to allow that ball to tail back into the pocket. But fortunately, she left 3 of them together, and hopefully she can make the spare and move on.
Right between the 8-9. Couldn't ask for a better cover of that spare.
Good frame filler. You know, too many people in our sport seem to forget about the importance of making spares.
Oh.
Well, I was taught a long time ago that strikes are great, don't get me wrong, but the game at the end of the day is made of strikes and spares.
Yep.
And very, very few times do we see someone who bowls an endless amount of games with all strikes.
Yep. And how about a messenger? No. Come on now. You know,
Tried.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned the spare games. I mean, when I was a youth player, Mark Roth was always the guy that was, he revolutionized the game. He was a power player. He did this. He was blowing pins over that nobody else ever did before. His spare game was one of the best ever, by far.
Oh, my God. And we're not going to take anything away from Walter Ray.
Right.
Or players like Norm Duke. But when you look at what Mark Roth did and his spare game, it was known he was the man that was going to fill every frame, no matter what it was.
Yeah.
Proved that by making a 7-10 on national TV.
Yes, indeed.
Great spare there for Anna.
I was there the day in Brentwood, California in 2017 when Walter Ray Williams Jr. missed 2 10-pins in the same game.
Yeah.
It still stands out in my mind because you're like, it's a moment where you just go, that never happens.
I thought they were going to break into the news live. Special report.
Oh, see now, watching pinfall there, that's going to be a little scary for Antony. With that ball reaction
she even knows that too. You can see that by the look on her face when she came back. She knew that ball didn't have the power that she was hoping it was going to have to really drive that 5-pin over there into the left-hand wall. But she will certainly take that strike and move along.
So is that from the carry down she's created, or was it just a not so great release on that shot?
I'm going to say by now, some of that's going to start to get, it's going to be carry down.
And look who found something once again.
She threw that one fantastic.
3 strikes in the last 4 frames and a 4-pin advantage for Addison Quattrini. What's brown and sticky? A stick. Thank you, Dad. Joke on lane 3. If I see him, I gotta share him.
You're gonna let him go?
Yeah.
You're gonna know that answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I see it, I'm gonna say it.
They might stump you in one.
That's true. Here we go. First ball of the 10th. Quattrini maximum 217, 213 the maximum. And Antony.
It's a pretty good shot right there. Wow. What a great pass. Now, I'm not sure if she moved a little bit right with her feet. Maybe she changed balls there, towards the second half of the game. But she's got a lot of good passes that are doing the right thing the second half of this game compared to what her ball was doing the early onset.
Right, and especially when she was out in the main bay here at Howell Lanes. I mean, when you're throwing 3 teens and 3 20s, and struggling a bit, and then she found it the last game in her match to make the show. She started with the front 6, so we know she can string them. When she took down Isabella Dixon to make this championship match,
it just tells you she's not afraid. Got a hook.
Yep.
Well, a little bit right at target that time. Not quite as much online. Just a little bit longer, leaving the 2-4-5.
So still a solid game 1 for both these young ladies. Almost seems like the nerves aren't in play with the scores they're putting up.
Yeah. 2 doubles, clean game, 2-0 something. Oh. Even though she chopped that spare there, that's a fill ball. Will not be held against her. Clean game with 2 doubles. And if you look back early on, especially the 5 count there where she missed a head pin and left the cluster in the middle, if you go 5-3 there, or the 6 spare that she had, if you go 6-2 or 6-3 once again and chop that, the next thing you know, she's down 25 pins. And as it is, she's holding her own. It'll be no more than a 10-pin game, regardless of what Anna Antony does there.
Beautiful strike.
Well, that one there, she wasn't afraid to get it up high flush to the pocket.
It almost seems as when Anna's approaching the line, her eyes are getting closer and closer to the foul line, because when she's almost at release point, it looks like her chin is almost touching her neck.
Right. It does appear that way. Although, especially on its right lane, I'm standing directly behind her there. But noticing her, the way that she bowls out in the facility, you can see it looked like her eyes, the more she was going to the line, the more her eyes were coming down towards, or her chin was coming down towards her chest.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own unique way of sighting their target on the lanes. Or if you're Chris Vi, you find out that, he just likes the way the ball shapes. There's no target. That needed a little more shape on the back end. The wry smile on the way back.
Yeah.
Still, she's only going to be down by a stick.
I'd say, other than a tie game, it doesn't get much closer than this right now after 10 frames.
Yeah. I don't play favorites. I just like excitement, and we were definitely having that here in the U15 girls division. If you're watching us on YouTube, do us a favor. Get on your social media between games here. Let everybody know. There's 5 championships overall being decided today. Here inside of Rev Rates.
Final score, 202 for Anna, 203 for Addison.
And Addison will lead us off on lane 3, as that's where she finished the opening game.
We definitely have ourselves a match.
Yeah. You see the laser focus on both these players. There's not a lot of smiling going on. There's not a lot of chit-chat, even between Addison and anybody that's spectating for her. I've seen Anna go back a couple times, consult. I believe that's with her mom, just on ball reaction and such. But it's always good to get that extra set of eyes.
That one almost looked like it was down in the lane a little bit early. Picked up right away or stood up.
Yep.
Went through the nose for the 3-6. Hopefully she'll just get the ball a little bit right of the 3-pin and knock both of those down. And
a little tease there, almost.
Well, about left of the 3-pin and knock both of them down.
It's one thing with these young players. If they're playing, you don't see it much anymore in a lot of cases with league bowlers, because they always like to see the ball belly out past into the dry, past second arrow. Where these young players are learning that sometimes being able to tattoo 10th board at 10 feet and 40 feet sometimes is really the key to getting some strikes. We saw that with Liz Johnson in the PBA LBC Clash. She was so straight through the front as compared to many others that were out there.
Right.
And just obviously one of the greatest of all time to repeat shots on the women's side of the
But
equation.
isn't it amazing how straight she is through the front? She still made the stepladder finals.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, you can see she was looking for the crossover.
Yeah, she wasn't 100% sure where that was going. She just knew that she needed to wave it and get some help.
The footwork, there's a little extra like Irish dance step on the end, almost it looked like with the quick feet movement once the ball was out of her hand. So it had to be a slight timing issue, one would think.
Well, says strike on the scoreboard.
Yes, it does. As everyone's friend Jason Couch likes to say, there's only one thing to do with a crossover, and that's parlay it. Really make your opponent feel the pain.
Well, it's only good if she can capitalize on it.
Well,
She did.
Jason Couch would be proud.
Pretty good pass right there.
Yep.
Keeping the lane. She's not as much power as she possesses. She's really not hooking it a tremendous amount.
Right.
She's kind of letting the ball hook early or roll early, stand up, and then stay there on line towards the one in the front or the pocket. So the fact that she's a pretty decent spare shooter obviously shows. She filled every frame except for her split, so she's doing the right thing. She's got a plan, and she obviously looks like she's sticking to it.
Look at that follow through. Up, reach, and wow, that's not too often you see a 6'9", and now that's twice in 2 games we've seen that for Addison. That's just a couple ways you can miss this one. Sometimes if the bowlers go with polyester, we've seen some right-handers chop the 6 off the 9 and take the 6'10" in the pit.
Right.
Hooking into it. The second stare down.
Yeah. You know, at first off her hand, she probably wasn't a little too happy with that, but it turned out to be just fine.
So 3 more divisions we have for championships yet today. We've got the U15 boys will be coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
And then U18 girls and then U18 boys to finish off the day, I believe, is the order?
Absolutely, yes.
So,
Yeah, the most entries were in the U18 boys, but, you know, Phil, it's really hard to break an event down to make it right for everybody.
yeah.
But we wanted to try to come under an event that allowed a lot of the junior gold concept with the U15 boys and girls, U18 boys and girls. Unfortunately, we don't get enough entries. As that, oh boy, one got a little wide right on her. We don't get enough entries in the U12 division. But I will tell you this. Our entries this year almost doubled what we had last year.
Yes.
So that being said, that was really tremendous to see. That means that there's an upswing or an uptick in local youth bowling, and we said, God, that's great to see. So,
Because so many times, a lot of the youth players, they start their career in high school because it's part of their school's athletic program in a lot of areas. I know where I'm from in Wisconsin, they have middle school bowling. So that really has helped with getting some of the 11 and 12-year-olds into the sport a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And watching these kids then progress into high school bowling on top of it, I mean, it's fun to see. And, you know, unlike some sports where they're having trouble getting numbers sometimes, and, you know, in football and that type of thing, it's nice to see bowling if it's, you know, it's not shrinking, it's staying steady, or it's growing depending on some of the areas in Wisconsin. Unfortunately, sometimes you get the business casualties that schools no longer can offer bowling if there's not a local bowling center within a half hour or so. But it stayed pretty steady.
Hey, that's not a bad thing. That's for sure.
I'd like to fact check that. 3 consecutive spares is not a chicken. It's on the scoreboard. 3 consecutive spares is a Cornish hen.
Have you researched that?
I actually trademarked that thanks to a friend of mine she pointed out to me. She goes, if 3 in a row is a turkey And if 3 opens in a row is a buzzard, because Bo Burton on TV used to call 3 opens in a row a buzzard. She goes, it's got to be somewhere. It's got to be a smaller bird somewhere in the middle. Cornish hen.
Well, I'm going to be hopeful that throughout my career I never had the buzzard look. That one's a little left.
Well,
Oh,
sometimes
boy.
when it's your day, it's your day.
Big break.
And sometimes little mistakes don't pay. I joke around sometimes. 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 wrongs can make a strike. And that was, definitely the case right there for Antony. The shoulder kind of closed a little bit. She got a little quick coming through it and tried to take a little off on the way down.
If you got to make it wrong, that's the way to make it wrong.
I mean, nobody likes to win that way, let's be honest, but you can't give it back.
No, God, no.
Nor should you have to, because usually somewhere right around, oh, gee, and then there you go.
Oh,
That's why one of the reasons why I think bowling is not an Olympic sport, because you can have that kind of difference in a good shot and a bad shot, and the results are entirely
yeah, really
entirely
sad
different.
break there for Addison. My God, she threw that one dynamic. Ball is high flush, and the 4-pin just gets trapped right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't come over and do what it's supposed to do in regards to knocking out the 7.
You see the look on Addison's face right there. She looks over to her supporters are going, really? Are you kidding me? Well, all you can do, pick it up and move on.
Might have had 1 or 2 choice words for that one, to be honest.
I wouldn't blame her one bit. Hey, we're not regulated by the FCC on YouTube, so that's fine. I don't have to do any editing out when post editing out when it's done. I used to have to do that when we had TV in Wisconsin. I used to have to do this sometime. I'd watch the shot and I'd go to a replay from the front camera like we see. You see the bowler mouthing something at the foul line. They're going, "Yep, can't use that shot on the replay. We can't use a bowler reaction."
Well, I'm not one to let the zingers fly, so we'll just let that one rest where it did. Got a hook. That one's a little quick. Not quite the rotation she was looking for, and now she pays a pretty hefty price. Not the fact that it's an open, but she got work cut out for her.
Yeah, every once in a while that squeak sounds a little bit longer on the heel on the slide stall, and that seemed to be one of those longer squeaks. See, that was a little shorter.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she doesn't drive into it a little bit more on one shot, a little bit less on the other one. But either way, she puts an open on the board, and the fact that she doesn't, meaning Addison doesn't have a strike yet, and the fact that Anna has all strikes.
Yep.
Well, you're going to take an even match and pretty much start to put a seesaw effect to it.
Make it 5 in a row. Not this time.
She tried to. Soft 10.
So it stops up the Rob Stone pork product. I can't actually use the name because then he asks for royalties, and we all know Rob Stone. He's got the jet setter rock and roll lifestyle. I can't afford to pay that kind of money to him. He's a wonderful human being, and he's done so much for the sport of bowling on Fox Sports. It's incredible.
Oh, yes. Yes. Absolutely. What a great guy.
And that time, no problem on the cover.
Good spare.
Rob Stone, I mean, he's been behind the PBA Elite League product since day one, and he's called a bunch of them and that type of thing. And this year they had donuts with Duke up there. I think next year they should bring you up there, Parker, and have pancakes with Parker up at Bayside. I think that would be a beautiful morning.
It's up to my kids. They'll tell me that I have to do the cooking.
Oh, Norm was hoofing it with a box of donuts out from the donut truck that was in the parking lot. A little off balance at the line, but still plows 10 through.
That one rolled up nicely. Ball went through the pins the way that every bowler would like their ball to go through the pins.
I'm a little jealous right now. Oh, last time on this lane, the worst break of the weekend for Addison with that smash 7.
Yeah.
She gets a little payback for that this time around.
But because of what she's done so far, she's starting to put her back to the wall. She has to get up here and post some strikes. A little bit wide again.
And a different kind of 7 that time.
Yeah, wanted to roll back, but didn't pick up enough to roll through it.
Yeah, and you can tell by the scoreboard glance and the look of concern on Addison's face. She knows the frames are running out. And we might be looking at back-to-back undefeated bracket winners. We had that with Randisi in the U12, and looking like that may be the case here with Anna Antony in the U15 girls. Ooh. Good thing it's only about 64 feet to the back of that pin deck.
Yeah, she did not need it to be 64 and a half.
No, she's still loose. She's got a little smile on her face. Supporters cheering around in the corner. And that's one thing that's always fun to see at this event, Parker. The amount of fan support, not just from friends and family, but even bowlers that are eliminated from the event. I saw quite a few bowlers that didn't make it past Saturday here cheering on their friends during the tournament today. It was fun to see.
I guess maybe she's telling Anna, you can go over there, I can go over there too.
The old trip 6. Nothing wrong with that at this point. She still has a maximum score of 214. Problem is, Antony's pacing at 229.
Yeah. Now she needs help from Anna.
Yeah.
Definitely needs help from Anna.
And you see all these players nowadays with that urethane. I think every urethane ball should come with a chamois on its own, just to help keep that surface cleaned off.
It does for half of the bowlers. They're called, the chamois is called their shirt.
Looking for the double.
I was going to say that's pretty close right there.
Yes, indeed. And watching, watching all these young players, male, female, whatever, and you mentioned about the ball shape that they're getting with urethane. They've gotten so smart that it's not how much it hooks, it's how and where it hooks.
It's where it hooks for sure. Typically with a urethane ball, they're trying to get their ball to stand up a little bit on the earlier side, and therefore it's reading the lane and rolling forward into the pins. They're not looking for down lane recovery or what we call the big ball or the big movement down lane. So she's realized how to create that where her ball reads the lane soon enough, but yet it's smooth enough. Keeps things in perspective.
For the Turkey 5, still tipping there. Doesn't quite get there.
Looked like it was going to lean the bottom of the pin right into it. And, well, 9 is good.
Yeah, and a spare makes it better.
Spare makes it completely better.
Right to the polyester.
Well, right now she's just looking to fill the frame. Good spare. She certainly bowls enough to know that she fates her own destiny right now. Regardless of what Addison gets up here and does in the 8th and 9th, all Anna needs to know, just give me 2 more marks. Matter of fact, give me 1 good mark.
Right. Yeah, it's mandatory strike mode now for Addison Quattrini.
Yeah.
Right into your living room, ladies and gentlemen.
Close?
There you go.
Better than close.
Almost perfect. Nothing left on the deck. No witnesses to that.
She's kind of looking at that game going, why couldn't I do that earlier?
Well, once again, that 3 count in the 3rd frame, I mean, that was, covering that up is kept her within the realm of possibility of still having something happen. Yeah, it's going to need a lot of help from Anna Antony, but You know, if that 3 count wasn't converted, it's a whole different ball game. And if that 3 count was a strike instead, then you're looking at a great difference in count.
Well, she better throw another good shot here.
Staring it down. Big extension.
Close.
Oh, once again.
Pin gods are not on her side there.
Can we make her an honorary lefty, Parker, with all the 7 pins she's left this game? I mean, she's shaking her head right now. She's throwing it well, but she just couldn't find a way to get that 7 pin out 3 times.
No, you know, and it's kind of unfortunate. The solid 7 she left on the right lane was really, truly a bad break. But when your ball gets to that switch spot and you're looking to get a little love with the pins off the wall, they're not showing her that love right now.
Yeah.
This is pretty much a victory lap for Anna.
Right.
She's got everything well under control, well maintained. She needs a couple of pins through 4 shots. As long as she stays behind the foul line and just lets it go, by golly, the rest will be history.
And another champion crowned here at the 25th anniversary Parker Bohn III Scholarship Tournament. We're going to get the big finish? Yes, we are. That's the way to put the exclamation point.
I would expect nothing less.
There's got to be a smile soon. No, still business at hand. I thought we'd get a little bit more of a smile after that strike, knowing it was locked up. I mean, it's official. You know, she went gutter. She's still at 208. Quattrini's maximum 193. I'll tell you what, though, when Anna got a couple of breaks on crossovers, she took full advantage of them. And you can't, you know, when things like that happen in bowling, you can't just shrug your shoulders and go, oh, okay, maybe it'll happen again. No, you have to bear down, get yourself back on the game, back in target, and she did exactly that here in the beginning of game 2.
She capitalized on them.
Yeah.
She made them work. The breaks, she made them work for her.
Right. I always love putting these graphics up because here we go. Make it official. There's your champion, Anna Antony. Oh, now she's triple 4s. Undefeated in the bracket. And she probably averaged higher today by 10 pins, at least 10 pins, more than any other young lady did all weekend during qualifying. So to find something once qualifying is completed and really put your game together and put together in such a fashion you're out distancing the field, she didn't leave it up to the luck or the break of getting the right opponent at the right time in match play.
Model of consistency right there. Trip to 4 once. Let me do it again.
There's the
It's a
handshake.
fill ball.
There's your champion.
I'd say 258 is pretty convincingly.
Yes, indeed. And no reason for Addison to hang her head low.
No, not at all.
She fought back from an opening round loss and got herself right back into contention.
That she did. Well, Phil, I'm going to go down here and award some hardware.
Sounds good.
Okay?
We're looking for you.
Thanks, and we'll see you in another match.
Absolutely. Thanks, Parker. Once again, our champion, Anna Antony, she'll be receiving the trophy bowling ball along with the big check from Parker momentarily.
Addison Quattrini, our runner-up in the U15 girls division. Meanwhile, Anna Antony with a fine 258 game 2 for a wonderful finish there. Claims our trophy and our check. We're going to bring her back up here in a minute. But first, we're going to grab our runner-up finish. finishing second in the U15 girls division. If you don't mind, please put your hands together for Addison Quattrini. Nice bowling. Good for you. He loves that camera.
Wait a second. Did I hear you only wanted to pin this weekend?
On Friday when we got here.
You have to set your goals a little higher.
Yeah. Next time you gotta go for the ball.
The ball to go with it. There you go.
You get the ball and the pin, or just one or the other?
Yeah. And our U15 girls champion with a fine 258 finish there, striking out in the 10th. $800 in smart money and a wonderful bowling ball to go with it. How about a nice hand for Anna Antony?
Donated by, thank you so much. Sponsored
On behalf of KR Industries.
You're welcome. Look. Yay.
You're losing everything.
I'll hold this. You hold the ball. We'll hold the check.
Yeah, we'll get the check.
There you go.
It's a lot lighter. That bowling ball gets heavy after a while.
We'll see.
Closer. Parker a little more. This one. Thank you. Big smile. And let me get one this way. Put the ball down just a little bit lower. There you go.
Thank you.
There you go. Big eye. And good.
Thank you so much.
All right. Oh, Mom wants a picture. Hold on.
Thank you guys so much. You're welcome.
Oh,
Want to say
you're
something?
Why not?
Why not?
Go right ahead.
I love it.
Thank you to my Storm 78U. I could not have done this without urethane this weekend. Also, thank you to Kelly Kulik and all of my friends, especially Kylie Pedisana, Camille Forrester, and Trisha Desai. They were with me the entire time and made sure I didn't crash out.
That's awesome. Good for you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much. And especially thank you to everyone here, everyone who made this event possible, and thank you so much to my parents for bringing me here.
Atta girl. Are you coming in?
All right, here we go.
Come on, just get a little video for a second.
All right, and with that, another champion is crowned. Anna Antony, your U15 girls champion from inside Bohn's Elite Training and Rev Rates VIP here at Howell Lanes. Short break, and we'll be back in probably 20 to 30 minutes tops with our U15's Boys Championship. That's going to start a new feed on YouTube, and please, everybody, please share the word that you can watch some great youth champions being crowned today here at Howell Lanes in Howell, New Jersey.
In just a little bit. So check out the matches that are going on live inside of Howell Lanes, and then hopefully everyone can come back and watch our next finishing touch.
All right, and we'll be back in a short period of time with that U15 Boys Championship. Please share on social media that you're going to be able to watch, and your friends will be able to watch some great bowling here on YouTube today.